Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And my good friend Laura Hosford is back with us. And today, I'm so excited to talk to her about her recent retreat that she just came back from. We're going to be talking a little bit about that just because it's brand new. We're going to be talking about the rising divine feminine world womb and what that means, and the fantastic 5 womb wonders. So we have like so much to talk about, and I'm excited because, we've talked to Laura a couple of times already now, and each conversation is always so wonderful, so uplifting, so different, and I always get something new out of it, and so energized. So Laura is a global peace visionary, a channel and emissary for the divine feminine Christ, including Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, a womb priestess and ceremonial frequency rebirther, a shamanic ordained minister, a master Akashic records teacher, a light language channel, and intuitive energy healer. So as a sacred womb rebel, Laura is here to help women awaken, heal, and reclaim their womb so they can embody their true goddess self and create the life of their choosing without apology. I'm so excited. So let's talk about that. So welcome back.
Thank you. So fun to be here again with you on a beautiful Friday afternoon, and just days after coming back from France and being here to share with your beautiful audience. And I really enjoy, it's just so much fun, and co-collaboration with other ladies and gentlemen and their community. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I was going to say to everybody too, that we are going to be taking, or Laura's going to be taking some questions, including, so we're doing some mini Akashic record readings. That's what I read.
Sure.
That's what I read, and possibly, hopefully, probably a process of some sort. I remember last time it was like such an amazing process that you did with us. It was like, oh my goodness, wow. So we're going to try and do all of that and more, as we always do, and have a wonderful conversation. So if you do have questions, please do raise your hand or type your questions in the chat, and we'll see where we go with our conversation, right? So tell me, first of all, Laura, how was your retreat?
Oh, it was so wonderful, magnificent. I really didn't want to come back, Laura. It was, I came back filled with so much light and so much peace, and I'm still actually kind of in a way recovering, because I did receive so much downloaded light and codes and downloads of information. I'm still kind of processing, and it will probably take me a few weeks to really integrate it all. Mm-hmm. And so I really this week been resting a lot, resting my body. It was really interesting because I got very dehydrated while I was there, and that did not happen before. And it was like I kept drinking so much water, but my body just, was just taking in so much light. And I did a lot of light language channeling. Mm-hmm. It's certain places, hotspot power spots that we visited. So, it was all such a huge blessing. And, some definite themes came forward, a theme that I didn't quite, probably anticipate. That makes total sense, right? But I'll share it with you that, mm-hmm. So the Marys were going with us. So I knew Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary would be walking with us on this journey. And that was some of the sites that we went to see. We were in the Rennes-le-Chateau area where the Mary Magdalene energy is quite present. And then, however, in Lemieux, which was our first stop, kind of on the way down there, we stopped at this one church that has in the alcove Mother Mary and the Black Madonna, and it was very, very powerful place that we received the first channeling of light language there. And I'll just briefly share, if you like, some of the message that Mother Mary was bringing through to us, and it was just so, it just goes down into your bones when you mm-hmm. kind of feel and hear, and to hear such a validation of and a confirmation from the heart of everything that we've all been doing across the planet as light workers, and all of our efforts are not in vain.
Right.
And so, one of the first things she shared was the fruits of our labors are now. that this next period we're going into, that all of this hard work and all of the sacrificing almost and everything we've done to ascend the planet and ascend the consciousness of humankind, that we are going to begin to reap these fruits of our labors early in 2020. And that the lifetimes of pain and suffering are over. She was very clear about that, came through very clear that this done. And I just thought, wow, what a super message to receive, you know, to give this confirmation from Mother Mary. And that she also said it's time for us to rest and to enjoy life, to begin to let go. And this message of letting go was a huge theme that came through from Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Yeshua. And also that our wombs are being prepared. So as women, our wombs are being prepared to receive new light structures, because we are, you know, our womb, each woman's womb is connected to the womb of Mother Earth, you know, through the ley lines, through the matrix, through the grids. And so we're being prepared now to continue to let everything go, particularly out of the third chakra area. And the third chakra kind of popped up as the theme for our retreat. And it was very interesting how the dynamics of it were playing out between myself and the two other ladies. But it was playing out in such a beautiful way, a beautiful container of respect and honor and unconditional love, that, you know, I look back on it and I'm just like, wow, we were just all dancing in our own imbalances. And then we were actually being shifted, you know, in our third chakras to come more into our own sovereign divine power, into more balance of the feminine and the masculine. And it was really beautiful to watch. And so, but the deeper message is that one of the areas of focus right now for us is to focus on the third chakra, because it's connected with some pretty big organs in our body. And so, you know, a lot of us have been having problems with digestion, you know, our digestive system, or we have leaky gut, you know, our pancreas may be impacted, our liver may be impacted, our small intestine and our large intestine, in our kidneys. And all of these organs they're all connected to the third chakra. And so a lot of emphasis was coming through that we really need to pay attention right now to this area of our body. And we need to begin to set an intention and a prayer to work with our higher self and our teams of light and other people, whoever's brought through to us, to really begin to let all of this like toxic stuff just leave our body, like leave these organs and just go. Because this is where we are going to be actually pulling in a lot of light that's coming in 2020. And this is not just for women, but for men, of course, as well. And so she said, let it all go, to receive your gifts. That this is all the third chakra has to do with receiving the light of the celestial realms. And that we also are beginning to now just receive the plasma of the rainbow lights. And she even told me there's new light frequencies and new colors that are coming as part of this new wave that's coming in 2020. And so I was getting a taste of that, I guess, on this journey myself. Awesome. And all of that. And she said, open to the light you are, open to the light you are, and be blessed. You're all so loved. There's so much love. And to hear this calling, you know, and to who you are truly, that we are truly light and love, and to really take that message deep within us. And she also said that to lean into her, she's just a touch or a whisper away, to lean into her for safety, for comfort, for nurturing at any time that you need her. She's just right there for all of us, giving us a safe harbor. So it was really a beautiful, beautiful message. And the same theme of that really kind of came through again when we were in the Mary Magdalene cave, and the energies are so celestial, so elemental there. And so Mary Magdalene did come through and, you know, brought a lesson of reminding us what is true for you, what is true for you. She kept coming back to that, to us really getting really, really clear about what it is that we're here to bring through in our heart. You know, it's not about what other people want for us. It's not about anything other than what's really true for us. And that we needed to dip into our own wellspring of love And she said to take this cup and drink from the cup of life, the life of the mother and all that is. Drink from the never-ending wellspring and waters of life, which she said is actually in front of the tree of life. I thought that was interesting. And she literally told us that we are like trees. Mm-hmm. And when we can visualize ourselves as trees and our body as the trunk, and our beautiful spiritual antennas going up to the heavens, and then our roots going down deep into Mother Earth. And this became a really strong visual for us on the retreat, because we kept bringing it in, and it was so empowering and so grounding for us, so that we could then take in as much light as we could. And she said, we're already connected to the Divine Mother. We're already connected to above and below, that we've always been connected. And just to shift our focus. And so she kind of asked, well, where is your focus? Is your focus on the material things of life? Or is your focus really on who you are, that you're a divine, being of light, and that, things of the material world perish, but when you're focused on your own light, your own divinity, that is something that you have forever, right? You can continue to cultivate the blessings from that. So she said to drink more of you. And so water was also the other theme for us, and we visited many sacred sites with beautiful sacred waters, including Lourdes, France, which is where the apparition of Mother Mary came to Saint Bernadette, and we did connect with Saint Bernadette there through a tree, actually, at Lourdes. So we were all attracted to a tree, and she came through and said that she was there for us and welcomed us there. It was quite beautiful. So, all of these beautiful messages just coming through from the Divine Feminine. But then the other part that I really hadn't anticipated was we actually also had quite a few, we were also accompanied by Yeshua, by Sananda, the entire trip. He kept showing up at our ceremonies, and he was there saying, as the divine masculine, I'm here to support the Divine Feminine, to be here for you, to carry you, to hold you, to nurture you. And we did go to a new site in Saint Sauveur that was quite powerful with his presence there. And so we did receive a prayer and a blessing there. And again, just a beautiful message that I was trying to find it here, that he is never that far away. He's always with us, and that he'll never forsake us, and he'll never leave us. And again, it was just such a beautiful confirmation of, the entire time creating this beautiful container of love, but that each of us have this within us, that our bodies can become the beautiful chalice, right? For these beautiful unconditional loving energies that are coming from the heavens, but also coming from Mother Earth. And that we are already so connected to heaven and earth, and all we need to do is just go deep inside and just sit with that connection, ask for that connection to be fully open to us, like a golden light. So it was really amazing. It's hard to put into words,
Awesome.
The experiences and the energies that are there in that very special place. However, I will say that I do feel like that with these beautiful energies that are coming in 2020, that more of these magical energies are going to show up for everyone everywhere on the earth. I really do believe that. So get out and find your favorite, nature spot, or, by water, or, wherever that is, and really just plug into it. It's coming in, it's here. We just have to plug into it and ask for those magical moments to bathe you in those magical energies and high frequencies that are coming. So beautiful.
I'm so glad. And it's like just hearing your stories, hearing, the messages, it's so inspiring and so uplifting. And, it gives us all this, not just, warm feeling, but it's such a good feeling to know that, yes, 2020, we're already starting to be immersed in that energy, and it is going to be a good time, and powerful for all of us. And it is, up to us though, to what are we focusing on, right? What are we focusing on? And to take a little bit of time each day to go within and focus on our connection with spirit, right?
Exactly. And to stay really, all these messages were all, super positive, super loving, and that this is the truth that's coming in. And all we need to do is we just need to shift and align to stay focused on, that message of love, and to just let, all the third dimensional chaos be what it is, let it be what it is, but know that you are being guided, into a different place and space in the fifth dimensional realm that, that's not for you, that's not for you. And there's no need to focus on that. Everything's going to continue to unfold. In fact, that what you focus on, and particularly for us as women, what was shared with me is that, our wombs are being prepared for these energies, these new frequencies to flow in and through us, as we are, of course, connected to the womb of Mother Gaia, which is also, we are creating the new womb of the new earth, literally through each woman's womb, for each of us that can, do as deep a healing as we can, and unlock those, locks into the full power, which is the first chakra, the third chakra, and the fifth chakra. And we can, just focus on that, those chakras right now, and, open that fourth lock, that fourth gateway into our womb, and welcome in these new life structures. There's going to be some magnificent healing and blessings and things that are going to come through these wombs. So we are being prepared now. So,
That's
a lot of, it is exciting, because literally through our wombs is how we are taking back the world, but we're actually taking back the world through creating, the new world, right? The age of Aquarius is literally going to be birthed through women and through men as well, too. They're their second chakra. So this is a very exciting time. And, I hope that through this message that everyone can feel into these codes. And that was the other thing, too, that I wanted to share, is that as I'm speaking today, I'm going to be transmitting some codes to you and your listeners, and you can just tap into that. If you want to place your hands on your womb while we're speaking, and just begin to connect with her, and begin to just align with her wishes for you. Her deepest wishes for you are to, align with her, work with her, hear her messages, hear her voice, allow her to guide you again. Because if we look at our world, it's kind of sterile in a sense. We don't think of our wombs as anything usually more than just for birthing children, and it's all because of the conditioning. And now as women, we're being called back to really, begin to include our wombs and find our womb voice, our deepest voice, and begin to really, connect with her in a new way of nurturing her, working with her. What does she need? Is she getting all of her needs fulfilled? What are her wants? What are her desires? Because this is where our feminine energy is really anchored into our womb. Our womb is our spiritual center for women, and it is the voice of our intuition and our wisdom. And so when we can open up that fourth gateway, right, when we can begin to open that, and it's not anything to be afraid of. I want to share that too, because last year about this time, I was going through my own process of, I thought it was more of my healer warrior, but actually it was my womb. And she was speaking to me, and she was like, I had some fear around opening it up, because I knew that once the gateway is opened and the energies are flowing through, there's no going back. You can't really shut it off, right? However, with that, what we're really kind of sensing is that primal force that's deep within. But that primal force that's deep within us is really a blessing. It's a huge blessing. We're just not, we can go into fear around it because we're not used to it. We have tried to control. It has been controlled for many thousands of years through the male energy. But now it's time to really begin to understand it, to understand that this is a force that is a pure creative force. This is pure creation and pure creation codes. And so we're here to birth these new, realities of light structures using these pure creation codes of light. And so it's not anything to be afraid of. It's something that really to look at is a blessing, and that you're not going to go wild and crazy, and you're not going to do crazy things. You're not going to go out there and, do anything weird, really. It's not like that. It's a very personal experience, but the experience is also, those energies are there to help you to deepen your relationships with others, deepen your intimate connection, through the heart, and the heart and womb work together. So the womb expansion is going to actually help you to deepen into those deep multidimensional layers of the heart. So they actually work in tandem. You can actually refer to them as the twin hearts in a way. So really it's like, just think of it that your heart is waking up in your womb, just like Divine Mother in the Gaia has the heart at her heart womb, and you're working together to flow all this beautiful unconditional love. I think of it just like a pure, wellspring, bubbling up here within my core center, and just, moving out through my body. And that it's going to help you to give you the energy, the high frequency, and the strength to actually get more focused, to really focus in on what it is you're really here to bring through. What is it that's on your heart that you want to do, whatever that is. And this is going to actually help you to co-create a new reality, not only for yourself, but for your family, for your community. And it's also putting these new creations kind of in this, it's hard to explain, into this new womb of the world. So we have kind of like this, womb of the world that we've been living in, the third dimension with all the interrelated, patterns and energies and frequencies, right? Mm-hmm. And so once you can completely disconnect from that womb and clear your womb enough, then you can begin to then integrate and begin to connect with this new womb that's, like completely clear, fresh, and clean, and begin to create new frequencies, new patterns. So I think it's just going to be really magical. And I mean, I don't even know how to even imagine that, Laura.
Yeah. And that's my question. It's like, okay, how can I know I need a lot of healing for my womb. I know that, but how can I use my womb now to my advantage instead of ignoring it, pushing it back, saying, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. How can I use it now effectively? Not use, I don't like that word use, but, work with it more effectively now. Yeah. Especially with this new energies of 2020, right?
Right. So the first thing that I've been teaching people women is to keep a womb journal. And I know that sounds really simple, but it's so impactful. It's so, effective, is to begin to just journal every day. Bring your hands to your womb first. Bring your hands to your womb and begin to connect in with her. Just set your intention in your prayer that you want to begin to connect with her voice and hear her voice clearly. And then you can begin by just asking her questions, and, beginning to ask, well, what is it that you want? What is it that you need to heal? Very simple, straightforward questions, but very powerful questions. So first begin to just show interest in her and begin to communicate with her on a consistent, if not daily, but a consistent basis. Begin to ask her what she needs to nurture her, what she needs to heal, which might include certain foods. It might include, doing herbal teas. It might include more rest. It can include going out into nature and lying on the ground with your womb on the Mother Earth, and just allowing Mother Earth to come up and do a healing on our womb. you know, that's the first thing I would recommend to get started. And then just start that dialogue, and then begin to ask her. Another powerful question is to ask her, you know, are there any energies in my womb? You know, it could be people, it could be places, it could be old traumas that are still hidden within the womb, and ask her, you know, to bring those forward, to bring them up into your consciousness, to be cleared and to be healed, so you can make, you know, everything that's happened to us. Is really interesting because there's a correlation here between, we talk about the Akashic records. Well, our womb in a way is sort of like an Akashic record. It holds everything that's ever happened to us. So when you came into this world and you were in your mother's womb, even, you know, in the 9 months, right, of gestation period, everything started to come into you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the DNA patterns of your ancestry, everything that you were here to learn, that blueprint for your life. And then it all began to manifest. So every event that's ever happened to you, every trauma, every conversation, every relationship, including the conditions and patterns of the 3D world, have all been kind of, they've all been kind of like intertangled within our womb. And I remember Mother Mary, when she talks to me, she talks a lot about undoing all that. That we're actually undoing all these entanglements, you know, of this kind of knotted up energy. And that's why you may have a stomach ache, or you might be having digestion problems, you know, or you find that you're not able to digest life. And particularly for empaths, this has been a very big area for empaths, our digestive systems, including our intestines, including our small intestine. There can be a huge concentration of unhealed energy there. And so this is really the area that right now is really coming to focus, is being highlighted, for us to focus on this area of the third chakra and begin to really detox our livers, detox our kidneys, detox, you know, those vital organs, so that we can then make room for this light that's coming in. Yeah, is that making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're talking about the detoxing, you know, of the liver and the kidneys, you know, what's coming up for me is like, yeah, all those emotions that I've repressed, all the wounds that I've repressed relating
Yes.
to the womb or other stuff even, right? But all that stuff that we've been, you know, just keeping a lid on, you know, it really does need to be, it needs to come to the surface so we can have an understanding of it and heal it, clear it, have compassion for it, love it, whatever, release it, right? So that, because that is kind of blocking us from holding more light.
Absolutely. And it's not that we haven't done already, and I don't want people to think, oh my gosh, I've done all this work.
Yeah.
And we have, and a lot of the work though was preparatory work. So what, you know, what Mary and Mary have explained to me is this is kind of the third stage of our evolutionary path. You know, our first stage on the healing path was the mental, right? The mental, the left brain stuff, the thoughts, and a lot of that kind of clearing in the mental, and then the emotional to open up our heart. And so that was all part of the plan. And now the third phase, if you will, is to begin this really even going deep within. I mean, I forget how many feet long the small intestine is, and the large intestine. I mean, you think about, you know, we can't see it, but it goes very, very deep in our core. So we're talking about this core area here that we need to really focus on now to really, you know, let go of all the emotional stuff, let go of all the, you know, material stuff, the mental stuff, all of it, the physical stuff. It's all got to go so that we can really become, you know, this container, this body of light. And the other interesting thing that I'd like to share too, that I've been noticing is an empath. And I think this is going to be the way for all of us as empaths, is that one of the signs that you'll notice as you continue to more deeply clear this area is your body is becoming, like your whole body starts to become a channel as a huge sense organ. So that's one of the things I've been noticing, is that as your intuition deepens within your womb, then it's kind of opening up this channel within your entire body, that your body is now becoming this huge truth. I call it truth meter, you know, and you'll begin to like, oh, you know, so I think this is so fascinating because it's not an experience that I ever remember having before, Lara.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so, you know, and most of us who are on these types of calls, we are empaths, right? So
right.
You know, I wonder what we are all starting to tap into and be open to, because we are, all of us, you know, are going through our own journeys, right? And we all, you're right, we're all doing a lot of healing, we're all doing a lot of clearing, we're all doing a lot of releasing. And then, you know, apart from that, then it's about the integrating, right? It's like, yeah, we've let go, we've released, we've cleared. Integrate now who we are without all that, right? That's a process in itself as well. And then, you know, and at the same time, be willing to receive more light and then integrate that. You know, it's like, you know, it's not just clear and release and then that's it. No, there's still an integration process that happens, right? And
absolutely.
And as we're doing that, we're changing, right? We're changing. And the way we're functioning is changing, and the way that we're receiving information and downloads and energies is changing. And you know, I find that right now a lot of people are like, that's what they're wondering, what's going on. I don't understand. You know, I'm so confused and nothing is going the way that it used to. You know, it's like everything's different, right? And so they're not sure how to move forward. Sorry, I was just talking so that my husband would come and get the dog, so that's a dog wouldn't.
Yeah, well, it is an absolute, I mean, but it gets to be, you know, more of the, not the roller coaster, but it does get to, you know, kind of begin to, you know, be more consistent. But as we are opened up to receive more light, right, and expand the light body, then there will be more stuff coming up from the unconscious. You know, I experienced that myself from all this light that's, you know, integrated from France. But, you know, it's not throwing me off center anymore. So you get to a point where it doesn't throw you off center, and it's not like you're going back into that old 3D place, right, anymore, feeling, you know, totally depressed and sad. It's not, it all changes at a certain place on your journey, where it becomes quite manageable, but you notice it, you know, you do notice that the thoughts are coming up to be cleared and, you know, to moved out for more light. So it is a gradual ongoing process, but, you know, really it can't be any other way, because our bodies always have to catch up. You know, our bodies are material, and so it has to integrate all this. So you will go through a period of maybe an influx of light or downloads or healing, but then you'll notice there'll be a period where you may think nothing's going on, but you're just an integration.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm like my you know, just above my eyebrow here. It's like it's so itchy all of a sudden. So somebody somewhere is having some sort of opening or activation with their third eye happening here, because it's like, what the heck is this? And so even that, you know, it happens in different ways. So it's not the way that you expect, right? So when I'm on a call like this or with my group, I tend to feel things, you know, that may be happening with somebody, right? And that's why I'm mentioning it's like, this is, you know, I don't know what's happening here, you know, it's like, so maybe somebody on the call listening now, listening later, is going to be opening up their third eye a little bit more. So awesome.
Beautiful. So, you know, it's just to continue the discussion about our womb. You know, our womb is really where we have our full feminine spiritual potential. This is where we really talk about the chalice of life and the chalice of light, and, you know, setting the prayerful intention to fill our chalice of light and to live from that overflow, right? To live from the overflow, so that we're not living, you know, like we were living before in the victim energy, the codependent energy. So it's just like a whole new reality. And, you know, our womb is the key for deeper transformation. So it's our holiest temple for a woman in our body is our womb. And it's a sacred place. And so when we think about our body, we think about our bodies being 70% water, and our womb being like the ocean, like our womb is literally like the ocean. And so, you know, everything is impacting that water in our womb, our words, our thoughts, our actions, our choices. And so now it's just really about, you know, becoming aware, more consciously aware of, you know, what we are creating, what we are creating right now. And is it what we really want to create, and getting really, really more even raw and honest with ourselves. And I think that was part of the other message from France is, are you truly being you? You know, because as these higher frequency energies start coming in January 2020, the manifestation is going to speed up. And so it could be, you know, really cool, or it could be, you know, kind of energy. So, you know, the more that we can align, the more that we can align with our womb and really get in touch, I think, right now with what, you know, what's there waiting for you, because our actual divine feminine blueprint is located in the cervix. So we want to get very, very clear and get really, really raw and honest about what it is that we want in life and what we're going to want to create, because it's going to come through, and it's going to come through, I think, very quickly. And once it starts, it's going to begin to spark people. And so
I'm good with that.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Yay.
It's like, yeah, bring it. So, you know, because, you know, part of, you know, I mean, even like for myself right now, I'm going through a massive expansive phase, you know, so it's like lots of creation and all that wonderful stuff. So it's like, yeah, let's bring it. Let's bring on the change. Let's bring on, you know, let's manifest what we truly would like to have and be, you know, and who are you being, right? And that's
Right.
always a great question. Who are you being? What are you being, right? Who are you? Is always a great question to ask every day, right?
Right.
And, you know, and then be that without, you know, without apology. I read that somewhere. You know, be that without apology. Must be from
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Right. And, you know, without apology and without, you know, limiting yourself, right? Just be it. No filters. Just be. You know.
Right.
And so I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to be a sacred womb rebel?
Yeah. Well, my understanding of that, or my kind of interpretation of that, is it means that you're your own best friend. You're your own lover. You're, you know, you are so like comfortable in your skin, and you're very, very clear about what you want, and you've been able to do enough healing that you can hold, you know, healthy boundaries around that. You become very, very focused and centered on what that is and bringing that through. So it's not about, you know, it's not about being a rebel, you know, disrespecting anyone or anything. It's not about that at all. It's a sacred rebel. It's saying, hey, I'm a sacred, you know, being of light, and my womb as a woman is very, very sacred. It's the most sacred, holiest place. It's the holy of holies, you know, within me. And I'm now, as a sacred womb rebel, I recognize that, and I own that proudly. You know, I walk with my, with full confidence. I'm not apologizing for anything in my life, because I've done nothing wrong. And I fully express my authentic light, and I'm not afraid to do so. And there's nothing that's going to hold me back from doing that now. In other words, you have fully released the repressive energies, the conditioning, the old 3D matrix programming from your womb, literally, and from your body. And you are now ready to engage the world, you know, in this whole new space, this whole new perspective that you honor and bless and approve of your own authority, of your own sovereign power. You stand fully in that. And we need, you know, every woman and man out there on the planet to begin to do this. You know, I recently, these two young women, right? One was 13. It was talking about the water at the UN. And then the other one, I think she was 16, that went before the UN, was talking also about the environment. You know, those beautiful sisters are owning their wombs and their womb power. I mean, I was just so blown away by their courage and their clarity and their focus of how they could get up in front of the world and without any fear, you know, deliver these messages. I just was blown away. I thought that was awesome. So when you begin to really balance your womb and come back into the power of your womb, she's going to bring you like so much, beautiful energies and beautiful expressions, because your womb becomes more magnetic, because we magnetize everything into our life already through the womb. Just like the womb birthed us into this reality, and then as we continue to rebirth, you know, through our own healing transformation, when we leave the body, we exit through the womb. So it's a constant process going on.
Wow,
And so,
I never thought of it that way.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's like eye-opening. So the more that you can, when you heal your womb, from what the Marys have told me, they have shared with me that once you've healed the womb and you've opened up the gateway to the world, and this is a literal portal that you have the connection to as a woman, that you will become high priestess again. That you will become high priestess. And that's like huge, huge. Like Diana was high priestess, right? Diana of Wales was a high priestess. And, you know, you may think, oh my gosh, that seems a little scary. Like, I have that much power? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But also realize that once you own that power again, there's nothing to be, you know, afraid of, because you'll be moving in a whole new frequency of unconditional love. And that's really what the feminine energy is. The feminine energy is pure unconditional love and holds those sacred creative codes.
Awesome. Bring it. So it's like, oh my God. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, I have so many wounds. It's like, and I know I've healed a lot, but like, how much more do I have to heal to get to that point, you know, to really fully accept, you know, number one, accept my womb and accept me as a woman, right? Even me, right? As a big thing. I don't even know. It's like, well, I'm trying to tap into that, and it's like, I don't even know.
Well, how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to do it, because that's a great question. How we're going to do it is we're bringing the goddess circles back. And as the goddess circles come back in our communities, we are going to support each other so that no woman has to do this alone. We're all doing this together, and that's part of the role of the Sisterhood of the Rose. That's part of one of the new offerings that I have, is to bring these circles back with the overlighting mentors, Mary and Mary, because they were both womb priestesses. They studied the womb. They knew the mysteries of the womb. You know, they worked with the alchemical energies, and they knew how to achieve enlightenment. And in fact, they helped Yeshua to achieve enlightenment. Mary Magdalene did, right? Through these old, you know, womb, these not old, but beautiful womb practices of working with the Kundalini energy. And so none of us have to do this alone. In this lifetime, you know, we're destined to come back into these womb circles. And when we get together, our wombs are speaking to each other. Our wombs are speaking to each other right now. Yeah. Right? In a transmission of divine feminine frequency is flowing to you, is flowing to everyone who listens to this, you know, and anchoring into your womb. And not only that, what's really the other cool thing is that as you continue to embrace and anchor in the divine feminine energy within your womb as a woman, you are also bringing that to the earth, wherever you are, you know, wherever you live in the world, you're bringing that and anchoring it into the earth, because you're already connected to the womb of the earth. You're connected into those grid lines, and that's bringing balance back to the world. And that's the other part of us taking the world back, because this is how we're doing it, is we're anchoring the feminine energies that are coming in from heaven, coming in through to Mother Earth, and we are now balancing back the shadow masculine back into place. How beautiful is that?
Absolutely. I love it. And it's like, and what's exciting about it is like, it seems like as I'm tapping into it, it seems like it's just going to flow with ease.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And we're going to just, you know, with that acceptance energy and that being energy, it's like we're just going to, it's like something just clicks within us, and it's like we're ready, you know?
Yes.
It's not a lot of figuring out. It's not a lot of you know, how
No,
do I do this? How do I do that? No, it says when you're ready, when you are willing to claim it and own it,
yes,
it goes quick.
absolutely, absolutely. That is, yeah, it does. It goes quick because that gateway opens, that portal opens, the fourth lock within the womb, and then everything is flowing down, right? Everything is coming down, those upper chakras coming into the womb. We also activate what's called the heart womb space, excuse me, which is like it's like a figure 8, right? Mm-hmm. Between the womb and the heart. And this is like a golden river. It's known as the crystal river of abundance. And so all of that begins to flow, and all of that begins to align. And then as the divine ideas come through you, through your 7th and 6th, right? These divine ideas come in, they come through the high heart. You bring the feeling in, the feeling, the emotion. And then what happens, it enters down into, and it comes out actually through a creative chakra that sits about 4 inches in front of our womb. And then it comes out through here. And this is actually the new processor of the 5th dimension. So, you know, our left brain was the processor that we've had, and it could only process about 40 thoughts, I think, per second or something like that. But this new channel, this new pathway we can process thousands of thoughts through this new channel, so this is all the new technology that we're being wired with. Mm-hmm. And as I understand it, actually, people under 20, 22 years of age, they already came in with that technology. They didn't come in with the old linear DNA that we had. They were already wired for this. Mm-hmm. And awesome. I actually got a channeling on this a couple months ago, and I haven't done anything with it, but it was more information about how the womb becomes like it's like a tunnel. You know how people talk about that tunnel of light when mm-hmm. they pass over? Well, yeah. that's when you're leaving the womb and you're going out. But this was more like, it's hard to describe, but they just said that your womb is going to become like a processor for the ideas, for the divinely inspired ideas. And it will go through a natural refinement process. And then as it aligns with the feeling behind it, right? The emotion, the passion, you want to get to the passion. And this is where our joy is. Mm-hmm. And this is where we're going to bring the joy into our womb and activate that joy. All of that is there through this passionate energy, the passionate flow, that it will just kind of like come out, you know, just be like a rocket. And that divinely inspired idea will manifest in this new world.
Right.
So
wow.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, wow. How do I even describe that? I don't know, but
I think you're like you're gonna have to create, you know, the process or the container for it, for sure.
Right. So yeah. This is what we're being guided to, for men and for men as well, right? I don't want to leave men out of the picture here, because they have 2nd chakras, they have beautiful dantians, mm-hmm. they have beautiful gifts of being able to focus. Whereas women, you know, we tend to carry a lot more energy because we do have wombs.
Right.
But, you know, it's all working together. It's all going to be a beautiful harmony and interplay and balance of all of these energies being harmonized together. In the masculine, you know, the divine masculine is here to help hold the container for the woman. I mean, and that will be coming through probably in the twin flame relationships, you know, for those brave souls, I say, that are being the leaders in the new, you know, twin flame relationships, 5th dimensional relationships, who are really honing in on refining those energies within them to come into the sacred marriage, right, of the feminine and the masculine, to bring together that new, beautiful, harmonious modeling of a relationship for us. Mm-hmm. As well. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm so excited to see how we're all going to move forward with all these energies, with using our womb, working with our womb, with this new processor that is going to assist us with manifesting our desires, creating mm-hmm. our new reality, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, that's a new way of being, and it's a new way of creating. So, you know,
it is.
That's going to be different.
It's going to be different, and I think, you know, but we've already kind of been in the preliminary practical, you know, piece of that with looking at our relationships, of course, looking at our relationship with ourselves first and going in, but then, getting the outer reflections through our family or through friends or through work or wherever, we're still getting that feedback, right? Of what, if there's something that's bringing, a reaction instead of a response, then we know that's something for us. But, it was so beautiful to see on this journey to France. And I was quite, it was kind of eye-opening, the third chakra, right? There was so much, but it all made so much sense, with opening up these areas to the womb. So as you clear and heal those major organs, then all that light's going to, just think about it, expand and flow from deep within out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Through the channel of your womb or through the Dantian, whichever.
Beautiful. Yeah. And then that's what it's about. It's like, okay, let's bring in more light. Let's bring in more of the higher dimensional frequencies, right? Let's create more of what it is that we desire. So on that note, does anybody have any questions for Laura about all the stuff that we've been talking about? the womb rebel, I don't know if we talked about, we probably did, the Fantastic 5 womb wonders, about reclaiming our true goddess self, and so on.
Yeah, and just
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say some other things that you can do. We talked about the womb journal, joining a women's circle, and taking a sacred womb bath. I know a lot of us already do that as empaths. Perform clearing rituals. We can work with certain gems. Malachite's a good one to place in our womb and ask to work with that crystal to clear out. Using essential oils, we can get some of those healing foods and herbs and teas. And then just doing activities like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, also to help us to ground as well. And if you've never done a yoni steam bath, that's also another way that you can also begin to open up and do some deeper clearing for your root chakra. And that's pretty easy to order online. But those are all some things that you can do at home to begin to, clear deeper with your womb.
Awesome.
But I think, mostly it's just becoming conscious about our wombs and, really just spending time with our wombs and finding out, what the needs are, what does she need?
Having that dialogue, which sometimes
having that dialogue.
I've never had that, I've never dialogued with my womb, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
We haven't really been, taught that, right? Our mothers weren't taught that. And also to look at, we can go deeper and look at, if you're still having menstruation, are you having menstruation issues? Are you having pain, blockages? Things like that. Have you had tumors? Do you have fibroids? I mean, these all can be pathways to healing, actually, because these are bringing up to the conscious those, energies of trauma or deeply repressed emotions. So those are not negative things. Those are just the ways that the womb is connecting and communicating with us to let us know that we need to pay attention and we need to become more conscious and we need to spend time. So if you're menstruating or not menstruating, it doesn't matter. You can go by the moon cycle, right? And the time preceding up to the full moon is the time that we're, from the new moon to the full moon is when we're kind of increasing our energy, because our womb's being connected, of course, to Mother Earth or connected to the moon. And so as the time leading up to the full moon is usually a time when we're building up, we're building up passion, we're building up a lot of energy to put into a creative project. And then if you're usually at the full moon is the time we know we experience, is the time we need to kind of go inward and we need to look at any repressed emotions and release those and clear and cleanse those. So if you're still menstruating and having a cycle, then that's a time when that's the time when you are supposed to rest and go inward and do this kind of womb journaling and look at things, right? So there's kind of like a natural cycle that's already built into us as women but we don't always pay attention to that. We don't always, because again, we haven't been taught that. We've been conditioned to be going, 90 to 100 all the time, doing everything for everyone and all that stuff. So, but if you really, and even if you don't have a menstrual cycle, you can just go with the cycles of the new moon and the full moon to get into a rhythm. And that was the other thing too that I really noticed in the last few months for myself, even, that Mother Earth is really speaking to me to really rejoin her rhythm, to really come into rhythm with her. And so that's something else that I would also suggest is, as you do your womb journal, as you just sit, and ground and pray and meditate, or even if you're going outside, is to reconnect with that womb cycle, to ask to be reconnected to it, because that natural rhythm will help you to flow and ebb with the natural cycles of when to rest and when to be, involved in your creation projects. And things will actually go better for you, and you'll actually bring a better quality to those manifestation projects when you can gift yourself with that kind of downtime. So, with me coming, like, for example, I'll just use this retreat I was on for 2 weeks. There was a lot of output of energy, of course, for that. And there was a lot of energy movement. And so now it's kind of a time for my body to integrate and to rest and to respect and honor that and not push myself, that we're so conditioned to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm feeling that too myself. So it's like, I know like the full moon is on Sunday and I'm already starting to feel like, I need to rest. I need a break. I need, which I'm hoping I will give myself one soon, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon. So I have a question from Suzanne and one from Karen. And so Suzanne is asking, could you please explain one more time what you mean by the word womb in just a few sentences?
The word womb?
Yeah.
Okay. So our womb is actually includes our pelvic center, right? Includes our pelvis. So it includes our uterus and our ovaries, and then our cervix and our vagina. So those are our parts of, or make up parts of our womb. Yeah. I think I got all the parts.
Yeah. Does that help, Suzanne?
That's all part. It's the first and second chakra. Okay. So it's going to be first and second chakra.
Awesome. So it's the container as well for our creative energy, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's, in truth, the reason that, one of the reasons that the divine feminine energies were repressed is because men, the male energy, the males, they went into a lot of fear because we as women had these, we have these powerful energies because we do have wombs to birth babies, to give life. And so they knew the power of the womb. In fact, Mary Magdalene and Mary Magdalene actually became the icon, for the womb mysteries. And as, I talked about, they were trained in these womb mysteries and how to work with these energies. These are Kundalini energies that rise up, and they actually, and so for not just creativity, I mean, creativity is part of it, but also for enlightenment. But these energies are so powerful that the males were afraid of that energy. And so that's where they sought to suppress it and try to control it and that sort of thing.
So it's more like the creation energy, not necessarily the creative energy, more like the creation energy.
Correct. It is. It's pure creation energy. That is correct. And so as women, we also carry what are known as the sacred codes of light. And those sacred codes of light are pure. They're pure creation codes that are working with the divine mother energy, with her pure creation energy. And so those codes were actually suppressed after Lemuria, and the women, as I understand it, who were part of the Sisterhood of the Rose, who were here in Lemuria, they took those codes literally into their bodies to keep those codes from falling into, let's just say, people that had not good intentions, to use those codes. And that was just part of the story here for planet Earth. But yes, so, when you're, I think the most important concepts as women that we can heal ourselves of is that our bodies are beautiful and that sex is sacred. Sex is holy and sex is sacred, not just for giving and birthing life, but also for bringing through this pure creation of unconditional love, energy, and frequency to birth new realities. Mm-hmm. And so once you can do the healing with your self-esteem, and come back into that full container of really honoring that and respecting that within your own body temple, right? And really, what I say, owning it without apology, mm-hmm. but really going deep to, love your body, whatever, shape or form or whatever. It goes beyond the body. Yeah. When you really get into understanding that concept of unconditional love is flowing through your beautiful body as the temple, is the chalice, then you move into this whole new reality of seeing beyond the body, that it's just a vehicle. And then you move into this deeper aspect of you, that you are, an innocent, pure spiritual being. So I think that's what we're being invited to, really, is that's the next even level to go to. Mm-hmm. And, just set your intention, set your prayer that, that's what you want to bring into your life, and watch everything open, all the doors opening with ease and grace and flow, and watch your life just flow beautifully into this new magnificent paradise.
Yeah, that's what we want. So there's a question from Karen, and she says, I have one ovary left, mm-hmm. or maybe the left side, not working. But after the menopause now, does that mean anything in particular?
No, even if you've had your ovaries removed, or you've had your uterus or whatever cervix removed, all of those organs are still in your etheric body double. Mm-hmm. And so you still have all the potential of those energies to co-create. So you can rest assured that you are whole and complete, because as we know, we work with the etheric body and first, and what's not cleared in the etheric body, it then becomes manifested in the, our body temple of mm-hmm. matter. So you have everything that you need to manifest, your spiritual womb and your womb power. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Yep. So I was going to ask you a question about the Akashic records. If we had a Akashic record type question, what type of question would we ask you? Specifically about this, about, not necessarily rebirthing the divine feminine, because I am the divine feminine. So it's not about rebirthing the divine feminine per se, but it is about, having access to more of those divine feminine energies. And, but, when you said, that Diana, she was a high priestess, and that we can be as well when our womb is free. Mm-hmm. But, it's like, I already know that I was a high priestess before, mm-hmm. right? So now it's just about accessing those energies again.
Right. You high priestess in the sense of being a high priestess in a certain level of consciousness, mm-hmm. right? So you may have been a high priestess, and I know you were a high priestess, but we may have been high priestesses of the fourth dimension, mm-hmm. right? Or maybe we were high priestess of the fifth dimension, back in Lemuria. I don't know, but right. Yeah, they're saying yes. But now it's about, that was, 13,000 years ago. We haven't really been, really bringing back our goddess self. We haven't really been living our angelic goddess self in the body, as in living, from that place and that space and that primal force and power, living in balance and really living from our feminine energies, because they've been so suppressed.
Right.
So, you know, now it's about becoming high priestess again right now this time, and going into these new energies and going into this new consciousness level. It's like an initiation. It's like, you know, you're growing and you're evolving, you know, into a different level of ascended mastery, you know, with doing that. And that's just the way that I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know, we all have this potential as women, and men have that potential, you know, to become their ascended master self. So, does that make sense?
And for me, it's more, it's not even just about accessing, but embodying that
Oh
energy
yeah,
now.
absolutely. It's a total embodiment. And that's part of this whole, you know, clearing to prepare the womb for full embodiment. I mean, that's what we're really doing. You're right. Is all the clearing we've done, particularly the last 10 years, is all been to prepare us for embodiment of our soul light, to embody that right deeply into ourselves, you know, beyond the 7 chakras.
Yeah.
I mean, we have many more chakras, we have many more energy systems there, but it's about really getting down into the cellular level, in our entire light body, right, in the quantum fields.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah, great question.
And so there's a question from Lisa. She's saying, does having painful, heavy menstruation since an early age, is that carried from past life or connected in some way?
Yes. That would be probably what I'm getting is uncleared trauma. Mm-hmm. And so you do want to look at that and clear that trauma, you know, from your uterus. I can kind of see the trauma inside there. It's like your uterus is very bumpy, and it's like very, very irritated. It's not smooth. Like our uterus should be very smooth, and it should be round. Our pelvic bowl should be round and smooth and supple and soft. And so I'm seeing it's, you know, kind of rough and irritated inside. And there's definitely some trauma there to look at, to be released. Absolutely.
So there's some work to be done, Lisa. I mean, we all have some work to be done. Otherwise, you know, we would be living a different life if all of those, if all that healing had already happened, right? We would already be living a different type of life.
Yeah. I mean, I think most of us are still working on, you know, refinements. You know, we've done a lot of major clearing. Mm-hmm. And as we talked about already, this is another level of deeper clearing, you know, for to go through. But this is the kind of the last frontier before we see the dawn, right? The dark before the dawn. You know, we go deeper into that 3rd chakra area, and maybe the 1st and 2nd chakras. We need more work. You know, it's like you said, it's individual to each person. Each person needs to look at that. Yeah. And see what it is you're creating. And the best way to do that, Laura, is also to not just the womb journal, but to pay attention to the relationships that are in your life. Do you still have toxic people that are in your life? Are you still putting up with toxic people or relationships? Are you in a job that you don't really like, that you're making yourself go to? Are you pushing yourself on any relationship or any situation to do things and, you know, extend your energy where you don't want to? You know, all of that needs to be looked at, and, you know, you get really, really clear, and you may need to do some more clearing to really build up, you know, that divine feminine energy frequency within you that will then take you into more, because those energies take you into flow. Those energies take you into ease, into grace, into just bringing to you, right, the right relationships, the right opportunities. It's not a mental thing anymore. It's like our wombs just work in harmony with our heart to begin to manifest all of this for us. Mm-hmm. It's a very different way of being that we're moving into, and we're learning to be. So, again, that's where I think the womb journaling can help. And the more that you can trust yourself, the more that you can notice that you're You're not as fearful anymore. The more peaceful you are, the more open you are, the more that you're able to respond to life, you know, from a place of peace and not, you know, just out of just, what I'm trying to say, reaction. All of these are signs, you know, these are all signs that you are then coming back into really holding and being in alignment with your spiritual container, you know, with your womb, which is your spiritual source. So I hope that helps a little bit with that question.
Yeah, and so she has a follow-up question. So she's asking, so each area that we clear and heal begins to heal other areas of ourselves, like the womb. And I'm going to just add to that. So each relationship that we clear and heal begins to heal aspects of the womb as well, right?
Absolutely, because those energies are, remember the 3D matrix, the 3D matrix was actually literally in our womb. The patterns are in our womb. Because remember, it's so cool because when we were in the birth canal, or we were in the gestation as a baby, right, in those 9-month period or whatever, all those patterns, you know, we were getting bombarded with, when we came through the veil into the earth, we came into this collective consciousness. So this was a collective consciousness. It was a collective womb, literally a collective womb that we passed through, and we picked up all these conditionings of the 3D matrix. I mean, they all just got, you know, absorbed into us. Then on top of that, we had our ancestral DNA, you know, and our ancestry lineage on top of that, and all that was absorbed in. And then, so from the very get-go, from the very moment that you came out of your mom, you know, and started to breathe, you already had these patterns within your womb. But also the divine blueprint was there as well to help you to begin your journey of healing that, and to begin to undo and unravel all that, and begin to clear your womb so you could then take back, you know, your full soul light, I call it. You know, your authentic and true self can drop into the body completely. And then you can then begin to work in alignment with the heart and the womb again.
Awesome. So a question from B. Moreland. What is the meaning of non-cancerous growths in the uterus?
Non-cancerous growths in the uterus. What the guides are telling me is points of affliction. Points of affliction is what they're telling me. So, you know, they may not be cancerous, but again, it's something it's an irritant. It's like a foreign energy that needs to be cleared from the womb. Points of affliction. That's really interesting. So yes, I would say yes. You need to, you know, look at that, work with your womb, work with your higher self, your guidance team to clear that, you know, or a healer to clear that.
Awesome. Thank you. Good question. Thank you. So if there's any more, so I want to make sure that we have time for a process.
Okay.
And but I also want to take a look at the special offer, because it's different than what we had last time. So yes. For those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. Those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Laura10. And I'm going to share my screen as well and show everybody. One sec. We're just going to, here we go. Awesome. So this is the special offer for package A, is a 4-week healing masterclass and 3 bonuses. And then package B is everything in package A plus a personal 60-minute session with Laura. Yay. Awesome. And I would highly recommend it. If you can do that, that'd be awesome. So let's talk a little bit about this 4-week healing masterclass, because it's not the same one that we had last time. It's totally different.
That's correct. So this is one that I just recorded in September. So it's 3 pre-recorded classes that are about 90 minutes. I think one or two run to 2 hours, but we go into the womb practices. And so we're working, we're focusing directly on the womb and doing some healing practices in these classes. And then there's also a PDF of some home practices that I give you. So you can, begin to dialogue with your womb, and I give you some questions, and then there's a chart you fill out and some other tools just to help you at home. So those are the 3 classes. And then the 4th class will be a live Q&A call. And I think I set the date for Saturday, November 2nd, I think, Laura, at 12.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gives people some time to listen to the other 3 classes first. And do some of the practices, so that then when they come to the Q&A, they can ask questions, and, we can do some healing as well.
Awesome. And then there's bonuses, the 3 bonuses. And again, the second bonus is different, that's brand new as well. So the first one is the Golden Heart Womb Activation Healing Audio, which is like a meditation. And the second one is Ignite Your Angelic Goddess Self-Healing Webinar. What's that?
Yeah, so that was a webinar I created, I think it was back in April this year with the Marys, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And we do in that a womb awakening ritual. We do a womb healing and clearing, and we do a womb blessing with the Marys. So it's about a 90-minute webinar that you get that healing for your womb.
That sounds powerful.
Yeah. It was a powerful healing.
Yeah. And then there's the bonus of how to set up your sacred goddess altar.
Yes.
It's also part of the bonus. And then package B is all of that, as well as a 60-minute session with you. So what does that look like, the 60-minute session with you, Laura?
Well, it's a good question. What I usually do, I always work with Akashic Records and my divine teams of light in any work that I do. But it will really be kind of up to your higher self and your guides. It's different for each person. Some people that I had last month, actually I did a womb ceremony for them with Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. One person received that. It was a very powerful ceremony. There's healing that you need. We'll do some healing, work. As you know, I channel light language. I do that with the healing, the violet flame. And I always have time to answer your questions. So sometimes the sessions go longer. They may go up to 90 minutes. But really, what I find is whatever you need, whatever the most pressing need that you have is what we'll work on.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. And so the package B is $177, and that includes everything in package A plus the 60-minute session. And package A again was $111. And so this is, I'm so glad that you have the live Q&A call as well in this, because that way people can ask you questions about whatever they were experiencing in the first 3 recordings, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I usually, open it up for questions, and I don't. We can go 2 or 3 hours. I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered, or there might be a personal message that comes through for somebody, or I'll give some feedback, an intuitive feedback as well, or do some healing, on the spot. So,
yeah, awesome. You never know.
I try to, just be there as be an open channel of unconditional love and grace for whatever it is that your highest good that you need. That's my whole concept. So
beautiful. So again, these 2 packages are available at alara.at/show /Laura10. So package A for $111 and package B, which is $177, which includes everything in package A plus the personal 60-minute session, is the one that I would highly recommend if you can do that. It'll be transformative. So awesome. Thank you. And so we want to we want to do a process of some sort, Laura.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I don't think last time, I don't think we did the process with Mother Mut.
No.
In the celestial realm, so it was a rather new process that that came in, and it was kind of interesting story. I ordered these divine feminine masculine cards last year from someone, this deck, and I got an extra card. And I was looking in the book and I'm going, well, where's the information about this card? And it wasn't there. And then it was but it was Mother Mut. And it was just like, it was so perfect, because Mother Mut is all about the celestial realms and is the highest frequency of the goddess energies. So, which was news to me. I didn't know that.
I don't think I ever heard of Mother Mut.
Yeah, N-U-T. She's the goddess of creation.
Okay. Huh.
So, yeah, if you want, I'll take us through this process.
Sure. Awesome.
Awesome. So just begin by finding yourself in a comfortable position. Just placing your feet flat on the floor, or you're sitting cross-legged with a soft, relaxed, upright posture. Just begin to connect in with your womb, in the womb of Mother Earth. Using your imagination, just begin to see yourself walking into a large meadow of beautiful green grass, surrounded by large protective oak trees. And in the distance, you hear a soft flowing stream of water that beckons you to sit down and stay for a while. As you begin to tap into feeling the peaceful energies of Mother Nature, now holding you in her gentle but strong embrace, you let your guard down and you open your heart to receive her waves of pure love. Now begin to allow your shoulders to drop. Your body relaxes even deeper. And now bring your hands up facing each other but not touching. As you bring your awareness to your hands, begin to pull your hands apart very slowly and bring them back together again but not touch. As you continue to bring your hands apart and together, what do you feel? Perhaps you feel warmth or tingling or lightness or some resistance or movement. This is all pure energy. This is you. This is the God Goddess energy. This is pure unconditional love energy, the energy of creation. And your job is to create more of this pure energy flowing in and through your mind, your heart, your body, and your womb center. As you continue to move your hands slowly apart and back together, feel your heart chakra opening wider, allowing more light to flow through your sacred heart center. As you connect with your breath, slowing your breath down into a nice rhythm, begin to connect with the energies of celestial sky, Mother Mut. Begin to breathe in love on the inhale and breathing out deep peace on the exhale. As you continue to do this, you begin to call in the beautiful energies of Mother Mut. She is the grandmother and guardian of all the celestial gateways. She is the keeper of the celestial womb. Mut is the highest principle and reflection of woman. She holds the light to rebirth you into sacred womanhood. As you continue to breathe her celestial light into every cell of your body, use all of your psychic senses and imagination now to see and feel the Sophia Christ consciousness celestial light now being turned on inside every cell in your body and universe. Begin to feel the celestial light moving out your sacred heart center, pulsing with waves upon waves of pure Mother Mut love, moving down from the seventh plane in a spiraling motion. It pours through your higher chakras with celestial lights of brilliant color waves, of a golden white light, now activating your spiritual connection with your monetic self. A deep blue wave of light, now activating your energy of unlimitedness. A violet peak wave of healing is now moving through you. And a shimmering gold energy of waves of Christ consciousness sweep through you. You then begin to experience a pink-orange wave of light moving in and through your body, releasing past life trauma. And now comes a shimmering pearlescent light that brings you effortlessness and helps you to align with your soul. You then notice a blue-green color now emerging of joy that activates your body of light. And then a seafoam green wave begins to activate your seat of your soul. As you continue to move down into your crown chakra, the celestial light continues spiraling down through each chakra, down through your womb, your root chakra, through the Earth Star chakra, deep into the heart womb of Mother Earth. She now opens to receive you into her loving womb of magnetic, fiery, orange-red energies. You feel a rush of energies begin to move up into the bottoms of your feet, your legs, your hips, now filling your womb center and root chakra with the loving magnetic energy of Mother Earth. Now gently bring your hands to your second chakra, placing them on your womb center around the belly button. Place 100% of your focus on feeling your hands begin to get warmer and warmer. As the energy begins pulling up on the inside of your womb center, you feel a large golden ball of light begin to expand within. You continue to feel your womb getting warmer. Now send this loving energy throughout your body and giving yourself a healing wherever it's needed. Just send this loving energy out, breathing in deeply to receive it. Now from your womb center, send a stream of pure light down into Mother Earth, connecting with the red hot fires of creation, the Magdalene fire deep inside Gaia, loving womb. Feel this pure creative power of life now flowing upward into your womb, your creative power center, now bringing you healing and releasing of all matrix programming on the mental, the emotional, the physical, and spiritual energy bodies, setting you 100% free of all of it now. By the Trinity power of 3, you are set free. Claim it now. Claim it now. Breathe it out all now. Let it all go. And sending it out with your outward breath, letting it all go. Send it out into the womb of Mother Earth to be recycled back into pure, unconditional love. Your womb is your chalice of light. Fill it up with celestial light and unconditional love now flowing down from Grandmother Nut and Mother Earth. Feel this energy flowing from above and below. Feel your chalice filling up and overflowing with endless waves of deep blue and white celestial starlights. As you feel the energy moving in and through you, filling you up with this beautiful celestial frequency of light, make your prayer to Grandmother Nut. Grant that I may reach the heaven of everlastingness and the mountain of thy favoredness. May I be joined with the shining beams, the holy and perfect. May I come forth with them to see thy beauties. Thou shinest at the eventide, and thou goest to thy Mother Mut. Mother Mut now speaks from the celestial realm. I represent the highest aspect in women. I am Mut, womb of the universe. I was discovered by the first people of the Nile Valley. I am the celestial mother who stretches over the entire sky. I contain within my womb all the trillions of stars and planets. I am the womb universal mother whose arms spread across galaxies upon galaxies, and I cover the entire universe. My arms spread far and wide to protect all my children. I am your guide and protectress. Those who come to me in their meditation experience are reborn into divine consciousness. Look for me. My body is deep blue in color and spangled with stars. I shower you now with pure inner peace. Within me reside all the answers of the universe and the answers you need in your world. I am the principle of the Creator in womb-like form. Look upon me, and I will give you absolute inner serenity. Spend time with me daily in your meditation, and I will heal your body and ignite your inner star so that you may glitter gold and silver bright, just as I do, your mother. Now for healing of your womb, daughters of Mut, with each ray of light issued to your womb, may you experience liberation as women. May you shine brighter and brighter as you meet the spiritual midwives standing at the gateway of our rebirth. Whatever state you are in, come to me. I, Mother Mut, will comfort you. Come fly with me. I will set you free. For I am the divinity that dwells within you. Look up to me at night or at dawn for a few moments, or as long as it takes for you to quietly seal a vision of me into your mind. And when peace and stillness and light have spread throughout your entire body, know that you have been fed from my sky bosom. Now gently close your eyes. Sister, sit very still, daughter, and enter into me on a higher plane. See your stars shine brightly as the light inside wells up in you now. You become one now with the celestial womb. Sitting still and easy, breathe deep and deeper still. See your inner stars renew themselves and shine brighter and brighter until all the dark spaces in you melt into one ball of light. Begin to feel this heavenly, womb-like, safe and peaceful state of celestial light now vibrating, emanating from you, deep within you, now circling your body in a womb-shaped tipple of light. Feel this deeply now. Breathing in my celestial light so that all the dark spaces in you become one light and one love now. And so it is. Amen, amen, amen. Aka, 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 and so it is. Amen, amen, amen. Whew. Okay, so that was rather interesting with the light language. They were actually showing me, you know, the celestial, the womb spiral that we see. They were showing me that through the light language, that there was being a clearing and an expansion activation within all of our wombs today with the assistance of Celestial Newt.
Awesome. That was so powerful. I'm still vibrating, and buzzing a lot. So it's still, processing, it's like I don't even know where I am right now.
I understand. Bring your energy to your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. How's everybody doing? How was that for you? It was a lot.
I'd love to know.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
There's a lot of energy coming into the crown and the third chakra, flowing in right now that people may be feeling, or they may be feeling something else that's cool. Yeah. Whatever you're feeling is perfect for you. Is what I like to say. Yeah. So
yeah, Lisa says that was super powerful, buzzing all over. So she's also buzzing, which is awesome. So ground, connect into the heart chakra of Mother Earth, or bottom of your feet, right?
Exactly. Send the roots down to Mother Earth and feel the roots coming up to the bottom of the feet, wrapping around the feet and the legs, up through the hips and the waist. Yeah. And I'm seeing, it's kind of interesting for my clients that I see in person and I do body work on the table. One of the interesting things I've been seeing for I've been calling it the unveiling of the goddess within, literally vines with flowers. I'm seeing vines with flowers coming up inside of us, anchoring, helping to anchor the divine feminine energy within our bodies. And it's so beautiful. This one lady, she just had these beautiful pink flowers going all the way up the left side of her body. It was just amazing.
Nice. So I think Maria wants to share a little bit about her experience. So Maria, I'm gonna unmute you. I'm assuming that's what it is. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Maria.
Oh. Hi, Maria.
She muted herself. One sec. Hello. Oh, I can't unmute you, Maria. You'll have to do it yourself. Oh, there you go.
How's that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Hi. That was beautiful. I wanted to share that a while ago. It's been, I think, about 2 months. I saw me going up in a spiral with a humming chant that I always love to hum to myself. And the last time we spoke, when you were on the show, you said I was on the bridge. And I was just wondering right now, if you could tell me what is keeping me fearful still. I feel like I'm afraid to move forward. Like things keep ending.
That's funny because you're walking as you're talking.
I know, but that's the thing. I feel like I'm moving a lot and I'm excited and full of energy, but things just keep, like a job of mine that I had for a year just ended. So now I'm back looking for a job. This is all very personal, but in the larger, yes, that's what I said. Thank you, Laura. That's how I feel. But guidance is what I'm searching.
Okay, so
why do I feel
so Maria, we only have a few minutes, so I'll see what Laura has to say. Okay, so give me 1 second.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is that it's really interesting. I'm seeing you suspended above the ground, and I do see you walking, but you're not grounded into the earth. You're not grounded enough, so really work on grounding.
Nobody likes that answer, Laura. Nobody likes that answer.
I know. But I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that you're suspended in the air and just bringing your energy down to your feet and really becoming the tree with the roots. Because it feels like there's a lot of movement. Like you're saying, it's interesting because she's walking now. There's a lot of movement. It's just getting it really focused in and aligned and anchored in. I'll use that word, anchored into the body and anchored into the earth.
I would say anchored in without fear.
Without fear, right. But when you anchor, see, when we ground in our body and we're able to anchor, the fear dissolves. fear comes when we're in our left brain.
Yeah.
And we become ungrounded. I mean, we're not completely becoming completely ungrounded. It's just that with these higher energies coming in, we're all learning to ground and anchor in our light. This is all a new thing for all of us. We all have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all, you know, as I said, we're in the refinement process. So please, you know, just give yourself a big hug. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and you know, everything's going to be fine. Now's a time also in where we are on the planet in preparing for 2020. Now's a really good time to sit and reflect and to allow the mother to bring you your highest destiny, to really be, you know, open to receive it. And it does take some patience. It does take some, you know, faith. And I understand that. Believe me, I'm right there with you, because my guides were like onto me the other day, be patient, be patient, be patient. So I get it. I understand. And, you know, maybe find a women's circle or start a women's circle, and, you know.
And if you have more questions, Maria, you can always get buy the package B and get a personal session with Laura. That would be really helpful.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you.
And, you know, I say that jokingly, like nobody likes that answer of ground more, because I get that answer all the time too. When I ask somebody something, they're like, ground. It's like, I am grounding. Ground more. How can I ground more? It's like, how can I possibly ground more?
I believe, you know, I get it. I get it.
But it's because I'm in my head, you know. So like a lot of the time I'm in my head. So it really is about get out of your head and ground, you know, get, you know, so but, all that time when you have the fear coming up or the doubts or all that stuff, you're in your head. So that's when, for me, it's a message, okay, take a deep breath and ground, and then come back to whatever you're doing, you know?
Right. You know, you could just do a quick, you know, grounding. I have an advanced grounding practice that I can share, you know, that I can't share it now, but I can share it with the class or in the Q&A. That's pretty helpful. Mm-hmm. Getting in nature, you know, just sitting on the ground, literally, you know, will help. There's so much distraction energy and interrupters. There's a lot of interrupters and disrupting energy that's trying to come at us right now.
Yeah.
So give everyone on the call, please give yourself a big hug and a big pat on the back, because you're doing wonderful. You really are doing great. You really are, because we are managing a lot of energy right now. More energy that comes in, the more we have to learn how to organize it. And as women, we carry more energy because of our wombs and our ability to birth. So, you know, give yourself some slack.
Exactly.
Is what I say, because it is a process, and everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. It really is. The guides are saying, yes, yes, yes. Everything's going to be fine. And a lot of times if you lose a job, it may be because you're meant to lose a job, in the sense of you need to slow down and you need to just sit with yourself and rest, journal, take care of yourself, and find out, are you really meeting all your needs? Are you really, it can be a gift. A lot of times it's a huge gift of getting really clear and focused about what you really want to create and how you're spending your time and resources.
Exactly. So Karen, she had written it earlier, and she said, wow, I felt very emotional and felt something move around the area of my left ovary. Must be healing, I guess. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's awesome, because she was asking about that, you know, earlier.
Yes, I know. I am seeing the green energy around her healing right now. I'm seeing that. And
good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Laura. Again, there's so much to talk about, so much to open up for all of us, and so much for us to, really is about, you know, coming back to that place of accepting who we are, accepting our womb, accepting our stories even, right? And then from that place of acceptance, then we can heal, right?
Yes, exactly.
And I know I'm saying that for myself too, you know, to be honest. You know, it's like, accept that, you know, and then move into the healing, and then move into the space of freedom, and be the high priestess that you all are, you know.
Absolutely.
Embody that, right? And then create your life and see how magical, how even more magical it can be, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's our time. It's our time as women. It's our time to, and this is not being selfish. it's our time as women to rise, to heal our wombs, to rise, to flow through the creations, because this is how we're going to bring the solutions to the world. This is how we're going to help our families, our children, and our grandchildren to come back to a balanced world, right? That's not toxic, that is fair for everyone.
Yeah.
All of these things are coming. This is a huge mission as women that we are here, that, you know, the guides want me to say and share that this is a huge mission. And please don't be hard on yourself. Please love and nurture yourself more and more. Be soft, be gentle, be open. Don't shame your body. Don't go into guilt. You know, if you're experiencing that, then, you know, okay, you know, just be aware of it and then work to clear it or get some help clearing it. That's okay. There's no judgment around any of this, you know, none at all. So love yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, give yourself this time to nurture, to really nurture and go deep within, and just trust that. Trust you're being so loved. You're so loved and guided, and everything is going to be fine.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
I was going to say, please do take a look at the special offer, you know, offers for that Laura is offering us, package A and package B. Get a session with Laura. You know, I mean, I think we all need one. I know I need one, you know, just to, because I know there's stuff there that needs to be healed and cleared, and we can't always do it on our own. We cannot always do it on our own, right? So please do. That's available at alara.at/show/Laura10. And thank you so much, everybody, for your questions, comments, and feedback. I'm so glad this was awesome and beautiful. Thank you again, Laura, and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Until next time, may you all continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Have a great weekend wherever you are. Drive carefully, be safe, but enjoy. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.